Hello, welcome back to my tech farm. In this video I have a laser engraver for the testing, and this is a Sculpfun S30 Ultra 33 watt diode laser, and this is far the strongest diode laser I tested on this channel. The working area is 600 by 600 millimeters. This is also bigger than usual doors desktop engravers. Approximately their size is usually around 400 millimeters. It has automatic error assist, a linear rail on x-axis, limit switches, replaceable lens, and it has direct Bluetooth connection too. Now a few words about the safety. The laser engravers are on this channel because they have the similar hardware and partly the software like the 3D printers. But they are completely different machines, and you should consider them as tools and not toys, of course, which require some safety equipment too. The most important are the safety glasses, which is mandatory not only for the person who is operating on it, but also for everybody in that room, because the laser may bounce from the wall or from the object. And also you have to use it in good ventilated room, and if you want to use it regularly you have to build some kind of enclosure to exhaust the fumes from it. Now always I get several comments that stop promoting these dangerous machines and similar, but as I mentioned, these are tools. Let's say if you search on internet reviews of the angle grinder or welding machines, you will not see comments that stop using them because they are dangerous, and they are more dangerous tools compared to the laser engraver. I know, I use them both, and there actually you don't even get those safety equipment. You don't get safety glasses with the angle grinder or with the welding machine. You need not only the face shield, but also you need to protect your body, gloves from the UV rays, which also can bounce from the walls. I think I will create a separate video about this to explain more detailedly, but now let's see what's in the box. Currently I don't even know the price because it is not listed on their website. All informations are on this Facebook post. This is content of the package: a USB cable, pipe for the air assist, safety glasses, and this is that laser module, 33 watts, and this is the plug for the air assist. Then we have this X gantry on linear rails. And then we have the alloy extrusion for the frame, and I can see the size is 20 by 20 alloy extrusions. We have some tools for cleaning and assembling. There are keys, these are legs. Bolts are prepared according to the steps. This is, for example, step 3, actually this is the timing belt. This is the main unit, and we have this emergency stop button. The power adapter, the output is 24 volts, 7 amperes. And this is the air assist pump, which I cannot see any switches, so it will be plugged directly to the engraver, and it will be operated by the software. Laser repair kit, I can see some lenses, and with this we can extend the lifespan of the laser module. And then we have some kind of plywood, I think it is 3 mm thick for the testing. And then we have these sheets, I measured them 23 by 46 centimeters, and probably we have to use them like this, but somehow I don't feel too comfortable because of that gap between. I cannot see printed user manual. I'm not sure, is it because this is early bird product, or maybe it will be some digital version, but in that case I would suggest some kind of QR code or something like that to be included in the package. I couldn't find any information about the user manual, but I will just follow this video, which is for the Sculpfun S10 on the Sculpfun official YouTube channel, because here we have the same structure. I'm starting with connecting the side alloy extrusion with the front one, and also installing the front legs too, and then installing the X gantry, and only then connecting the back alloy extrusion to the main of the frame, and then installing the timing belts on both sides and placing a tension on them. I noticed some differences from that video, so I want to mention that now. Here we don't have now that sticker for the legs, but this kind of rubber or something like that. And the other thing they don't mention in the video, that after installing the timing belt, of course we have to pull them to be tight, but then you have to check if this X gantry is squared, this means parallel with this frame here. And if it is not, then you can adjust it by losing these two set screws, do some aligning, and then tie them back. Step 5, and 4 bigger screws holds the module, and 2 smaller are for the shield. And it looks like that we have to use these 4 bolts, so we don't need a tool, but it is not so comfortable because I have to lose these 4 screws to set the focus of the module, and I believe that this is the distancer. So it works, we don't need a tool, but 4 screws, I think there could be some more comfortable solution too. And don't forget to check the tension on this eccentric nut on the bottom wheel using this open-end wrench. It should be very hard to rotate it with your hand, then it's good. Ah yes, installing the shield. I thought we can rotate it so we can open it during the boundary check or see the position of the laser, and then we can place it back and start the engraving, but no, it's pity that I didn't use this opportunity. The limit switch for the y-axis. And for the x-axis. And the last step is the wiring, only I have to figure out how to connect them. They are labeled, so that's not the question which goes where, only the cable management, how to fix them, because don't forget this part will be moving. This is my final cable management. The y-axis limit switch cable goes here in this slot on the other side, and here I use these holders. Always check if the cables are long enough. Move the module to the edges of the engraver, but don't forget, don't move it too fast, because stepper motors may create some current which might damage the mainboard. This part is speeded up. It is time to connect with the laptop, and I really like this 90-degree end of the cables because they are not standing out and they are not in the way if I have to press this emergency stop button. This is my first time I'm using the 33 watt diode laser, and I have to run some tests, and much faster I can do it in a Lightburn. I still have 9 days of the trial version, but later probably I will buy it because this is great software compared to the laser GABL, which I will use later, but it is free software, only available for the Windows. Lightburn, it is not completely free, but it is available for Linux, Macintosh, and it is much better software. Now let's turn it on. I have to rotate the key and the emergency stop button to unlock. Oh, this is loud. I'm quite sure that this is the loudest laser engraver tested so far. I will narrate the rest of the video. Only this I want to show you how loud is this fan. I understand this has the biggest power and needs more cooling, and I'm quite sure that the air assist pump is quieter than this fan, but at least it will be good if it will turn off when the module is not operating. Okay, I turn it off and the fan is still working. This was strange, so you have to stop it with the key or probably with the emergency stop button. Let's test that. Yeah. So as I mentioned, from now on I will just record the video and I will narrate it because this will be too noisy for the background. Here I am setting the focus on the top of this plywood surface. And then here you can see my settings in Lightburn. The bottom line will be with 100% power and the upper with 60% power. Safety glasses on. And during the first framing, the shield moved the object. So I try to leave the shield in highest possible position. And again framing, and this time it was okay. I have approximately 1 mm gap between the shield and the plywood. And this is the real-time speed, and you can see how it speeds up with each object. And this is the second line with 60% power. Wow, I almost reached the cutting settings with this 1000 mm per minute speed and full power. So first impressions, very powerful laser module. And then this is the laser GABL. Here you can see my settings for engraving of this logo. So I'm using here 300 mm per minute, 60% power, setting the dimension. And this is again real-time speed. And if I take a closer look of this engraving, I can see a lot of vibrations along the y-axis, and I know exactly what is the problem, so I will do this experiment. I am lifting the module in highest possible position, and I will do the engraving now using the same G-code. And here they are side by side, and it is quite obvious that in high position the module don't vibrate so much. Okay, I need some experimenting because I want to engrave some grayscale image. And here you can see the settings on different speed, and I think the best is approximately at 50% power and approximately 10,000 millimeters per minute speed. These are my settings in the laser GRBL. Line to line tracing, 10 lines per millimeter, 10,000 millimeter per minute speed, 50% power, and then 50 by 50 millimeters is the size. And this is the real-time speed on start, and this is the time-lapse video of approximately 5 minutes, and again ending in real-time speed. The engraving is finished, and I'm very happy with the results on these settings. So on 10,000 millimeters per minute, 50% power, it is quite good. Even the camera can recognize that this is the human face. Now it is time to do some cutting, and this honeycomb grid is sent to me by the Banggood, and this is not part of this package. And with the cutting you always want to lift the object so you can see the beam on the other side to see if it is cut or not. But also a honeycomb grid is good because the airflow is much better, because with cutting definitely you want to use the air assist. With this honeycomb grid we can see through the other side, but of course we need to place something to protect the desk. And these are some rubber pads, so it will be more stable, it will not move during the vibrations. There will be a separate link to the Banggood website to this honeycomb grid. For cutting, definitely you want to use the air assist, it will be much nicer and safer. Here you can see my settings in Librem, and for this upper row I want to enable the constant power mode. In laser GRBL we can start the pump with M8 code, and with M9 we can stop it. Or we can create a custom button. Start, stop. This part is speeded up 10 times, but you can see the increasing in the speed. And only this one needed a little bit force to fall out, but basically it was cut in two. But anyway, enabling the constant power is better for the cutting. And one quick experiment for these two squares. For one I will disable the air assist, so this one was cut with air assist and the second one without, and I want to compare side by side these two results. And it is quite obvious, so it is much sharper, and this time I couldn't see the flames, but if I would lower the speed, definitely using an air assist is much safer. More experiment with the cutting, and this 5mm plywood is the thickest I have, and it's a little bit warped. Anyway, I will do this experiment. So 5mm plywood on the top, and below it is this 3mm, and they're not completely connected, there is a gap between, so that you will see a lot of smoke. Anyway, the 5mm is absolutely not a challenge for this laser module, and I can see that 3 are even cut on this 3mm plywood too. These two are still there, but almost cut actually. 300 millimeters per minute is enough for this full power to cut 8mm plywood, and this dirt is because this was not in one piece. And now cutting MDF wood. This is my regular test with these diode laser engravers, which really struggle with this. And here I can see the cutting with 20 watt diode laser, which can cut in one pass, but on 200 millimeters per minute. Here I'm preparing some experiment from 2 to 400 millimeters per minute speed, and I can see that without any problems it was cut even on 400. Looks like we have a new champion with the cutting of the MDF. All three cuttings look very similar, and thanks to the air assist they are very sharp and clean. And now cutting some black acrylic, and this is 3mm thick black acrylic, because even this laser cannot cut transparent versions. And these settings are equal like with the previous cuttings, and very sharp and clean edges I have again, from 2 to 400 millimeters per minute without any problems. A great application for this machine is engraving anodized aluminum, and I have these name tags from Chewbacca company. I presented them a few weeks ago, and I really like to work with this anodized aluminum because there are no fumes, no dangers of the flames, and they look really nice. And I will just do test engravings on this plate here. Here you can see my settings in Librem, and this time I want to try the offset fill. This is another time-lapse video, speed it up 10 times. From 2000 up to 10,000 millimeters per minute speed, full power, and they look very similar in all 5 cases. And my last engraving for this video, this is the stainless steel which I always use in these reviews, and this was engraved with the Sculpfun's 10 diode laser, the letters directly, and this small dot I used here the marker on the surface. And this was engraved with 100 millimeters per minute. I will do the same one, but now with the 200 millimeters per minute, and we will compare these two letters. All these engraves are done with the 100 millimeters per minute speed, but I can see now 20 watt diode laser may be even too strong for this, so that's why I will raise now to 200 millimeters per minute. This is only the finishing of the engraving, speed up 2 times. Actually here I forgot to set the focus, so it is approximately 1.5 millimeters higher, and I will repeat here, but with the correct focus. Focus fixed, and I repeated the engraving, but you will see the result is very similar. Much better now. Let's analyze the engraving. Well, actually both looks good. This was engraved with the 1.5 millimeter higher focus. Let's clean them with isopropyl alcohol. Well, actually they look very equal, and for the feeling I can feel that the metal is melted. Maybe I can illustrate you with this screwdriver. So definitely this is very powerful laser engraver. Another conclusions, and I have a little bit mixed feelings about this engraver. And first I will start with what I like. Great big working space, but only if you need this working area, because check the size of the desk before you place an order. Good that we have a linear rail on x-axis, limit switches, air assist pump, and power of this laser module is incredible. Far the strongest I tested on this channel, and it is so powerful that in most cases for the engraving you will reduce the power. Sometimes you will need only 30% of the power to do engraving on, I don't know, cardboard or something like that. So its real power is with the cutting, and for this it is good that by default it arrives with the air assist kit, which result not only more sharper edges, but also it is safer because prevents the risk of the flames. Now this design may be a little bit old-fashioned now. It is good that the X-stepper motor is not anymore on the moving module, but it is fixed on the side. But they could do this the same with the Y-axis stepper motor, because unnecessary, it is on moving X gantry, it could be fixed maybe on the back side, or maybe we can have 2 Y-axis stepper motors. And another question, why are these 2 stepper motors same size? I mean, the X moves only this module, but the Y-axis moves the whole X gantry together with the module. So or the Y-axis should be bigger and we can have bigger speeds, or the X-axis could be smaller. About the noise. This is far the loudest laser engraver I tested so far, and I would highly recommend to the Sculpfun to, beside these protection glasses, to put some protection for the ears. And I'm serious, this is not a joke. There is a sticker, it says do not leave this machine running unattended. And yes, it's true, but listening that noise all the time, that's not good for the health. Setting the focus. 4 knobs on the back side. I would say okay, it could be acceptable, not so comfortable because 4 pieces on the back side, but also additionally we have this shaft and timing belt in a way. And not so comfortable to using this small spacer on basically only on one spot to set the focus. Of course, if you do an engraving, you want to set the focus on the top of the surface, but if you want to do the cutting, sometimes you want to place the focus a little bit deeper. But we cannot go deeper because even if I would, I don't know, 3D print a smaller spacer, there is still this shield in a way. So this shield could be a little bit smaller. And also it would be good if it would be, I don't know, foldable, because it's a little bit hard to see the position of the laser. It's good that I could fold up, do the boundary check to see the position of the engraving, and then I can place it back and do the engraving. Or maybe, I don't know, attaching with some stronger magnets or something like that, that's also a nice solution. About the vibration, well, it looks like the Sculpfun doesn't watch my videos because I explained this very detailedly in a separate video. So center of the mass of the module should be exactly on the support, in this case on a linear rail. But look how far is this linear rail from the center of the mass. And this is not an easy module. I measure more than ½ kilogram is the mass of it. And of course we can solve this by lifting it higher. You saw in one very simple experiment. In lowest position a lot of vibration, in the highest position significantly less, but it could be even better if the center would be exactly on this linear rail. Maybe they could switch the position linear rail lower and timing belt higher, or maybe the shaft they don't even need if the stepper motors are on the back side. This is my experience with this laser engraver. It can be a great tool, but you have to consider these few issues, which is not a deal breakers, but you have to keep in mind, because for example, if somebody is not watching my videos, he is not clear that he has to raise this laser engraver in higher position to get nice sharp engraving. It will be in lower position maybe, and just complaining, oh, how much vibration he has during the engraving. If you have some other additional experience, you know, a few lines in the comment section. Thank you for watching, and happy and safe engraving!